Hi, we're A Couple of Yogis, and this is our YouTube channel breaking down some basic yoga poses that you'll come across in standard yoga classes. And these are some tips and advice that you can use at home so that you can practice in your own time, in your own space. So today we are going to cover plank pose, also known as
Phalakasana?
Yeah, or
Phalakasana.
Yeah, I've heard Phalakasana, Plankasana. We won't worry too much about it. So how we're going to do it is I'm going to teach, Neil's going to demo, and then we're going to swap around, and this gives you an opportunity to see how different teachers teach, but also how the pose looks different in different bodies. So Neil, shall we make a start?
Yes.
Alright, okay. So if you come into an all fours position, tabletop. So really important that Neil is stacking the joints here. So he's stacking shoulder above elbow, above wrists. And if we work on the front here and we look at the base, just like we did in our downward dog video. So Neil's spreading the fingers and he's pressing down through the base of the knuckle of the finger. So he's pressing down through the index knuckle and through the base of the thumb. And then if you ever just so slightly grip the mat with the fingertips, you're going to actively press down through the fingertips and through the knuckles, taking a little bit of weight out of the wrists, and that's going to protect your wrists in this plank pose. So Neil's got a nice base here, he's stacking the joints, and now we start to move down the spine, and we find the transverse abdominals are engaged. So he's slightly drawing navel towards spine. The pubic bone draws up towards the navel, and he's lengthening down through the tailbone. Really nice, and everything is stacked really well here, and knees are directly below the hips. So from here, Neil, could you press back onto the ball of the right foot, so extending out through the right leg. And before he extends out through the left, this is a nice place just to check in that you're still lengthening through the tailbone, that you're still drawing the pubic bone up towards the navel, and you're lifting up through the kneecap and you're pressing out through the heel as if you're trying to maybe push into a wall behind you, an imaginary wall. And then Neil, if you could do the same with the left, and again checking in, same thing, lengthening the tailbone, you're drawing pubic bone up towards the navel, you're engaging through the kneecaps, and you're pressing, kicking out through the heels. Really nice. So this is a hard one to hold for too long. Don't worry, Neil, I won't leave you here for too long. And then if you ever still slightly think angry cat back, really nice, lovely. So you can see Neil's got a really nice alignment. He's still got his shoulders stacked above his elbows, stacked above his wrists, and he's still drawing the pubic bone towards the navel. Very nice, Neil. So modification number one, to take it down a notch, take it down a level, you would just come back down onto the knees. But keeping that core engagement, keeping the engagement with the hands and engagement with the tailbone. So that's down a level. If you ever feel tired, this is where you come to. Neil, could you come back to plank again? So we're coming back to plank again. Neil just slightly took that tailbone. Yes, really nice. Now if you want to take it to the next level, you slightly overshoot the wrists with the shoulders, so you're coming up more onto the tippy toes. Keep coming, Neil. I know you've got the strength. You can do this. Really nice. So keep drawing in, engaging the glutes, drawing pubic bone the other way. Pubic bone to, there you go. You have an angry cat back, really pushing up. 1, 2, 3, and coming down. Really nice. If you want to rest in child's pose, get your breath. So I pushed them through a slightly harder variation. So you've got 3 variations of plank pose. So Neil, do you want to take me through my paces?
Yep.
That time. Which way do you want me to face this way?
Okay, yeah, if you could face towards the radiator, that would be great, and we would begin in an all fours position, as I did. So having the knees hip width distance just stacked underneath. It might be nice here to engage through the shins and pressing through the tops of the feet, and that really helps to engage this lower part of the back and the lower core, pressing up through the navel up to the spine, and making sure again here that the shoulders are stacked above the elbows. You might be able to take the eyes of the elbows towards the front of the room. Really nice, Emma. And maybe if you want to have a look back and see that you can't see your feet, that's also a nice cue to make sure that you've got the alignment through the legs, through the feet. And excuse me, once again, we will step back. I'll ask you to step back with your right foot, Emma, and tuck the toes under. And again, engaging up through that back leg, pressing through that back heel, and making sure that those hips are square. So maybe engage that right glute, take them down. That was a really minimal change there, Emma, but really, really nice. And then when you're ready, you can step back that left foot into that full plank Phalakasana or Phalakasana. And in making sure that there's a little pelvic tilt here and that there's a straightness to that lower back, pressing up through the edge, really nice. So what you want to do here is that middle part of the back is coming through those shoulder blades, really coming through, so that it's almost like you're trying to press that middle of the back outwards through the shoulder blades. So really nice. And I mean, you might want to take the gaze just a couple of inches forward, and that might straighten out the spine nicely. That's really, really nice. So again, you're pressing through the hands, you're feeling that engagement. Maybe you can again try and get the eyes of those elbows towards the front of the room just a little bit, Emma. I know this is tough work because I've just done it, so I know exactly how hard it is. You look like you're shaking. So you can take take it back down to your knees, Emma, absolutely. And again, if you want to take it back. But the modification there, as Emma mentioned, is to come back up onto your all fours position. And again, the way to get that engagement, the same engagement that you would get through a plank pose, is to press down through the tops of those feet, through the shins, trying to get the shins and the tops of the feet and actually engaging them. And that will actually help you to engage here. That pelvic tilt, you might even be able to engage the glutes here when you're in an all fours position. But that was a really nice strong plank, Emma, and hopefully that will help you to get into a nice Phalakasana at home.
All right.
Nice work.
Nice work.